Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. We are in full swing, December. Everyone started Christmas shopping, but there is always time for a little bit of cooking. Now in this episode, I thought I would share a couple of vegetarian festive dishes that I think you will really like. I know lots of people are looking for alternative Christmas dinners. They might have a relative coming for Christmas dinner and don't know what to make other than roast turkey. So I've got two delicious recipes for you. Now the first recipe I've got is a beautiful stuffed butternut squash, okay? So butternut squash, do you cook with this very often, Emily?
I don't actually.
Do you not? It is delicious, so versatile. You can use it for so many things. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you how to prep it first. So I've got a Y peeler here. For obvious reasons, it's in the shape of a Y. And it is really good for peeling. A lot of people use a knife and kind of struggle and find it really difficult. But if you just peel it with a decent sharp peeler, you can get the bulk of the work done straight away. What are you having for Christmas dinner this year, Emily?
Might be one of these dishes, you know.
Yeah?
I quite like a vegetarian dish.
Do you? Even for Christmas dinner?
Possibly, yeah.
Don't tell your dad.
Traditions can change.
Your dad will leave. He'll go.
Yeah.
Be like, right, I'm off.
Yeah.
Right. So you can see, you get this sort of, when you peel it, you come down to sort of quite a pale yellow. And then you get to that lovely squash, that orangey kind of squash colour. All right, Pip, it's not a carrot, so you won't want it, I'm afraid. The dog is longingly looking at me, thinking it's a massive carrot, but it's not. So, hopefully you all watched last week's episode where I cooked 3 amazing dishes, gave you loads of options for an alternative Christmas dinner. And we also kicked off our Elf on the Shelf competition. Now, please, if you want to enter the competition to win this, which is what I'm going to show you later on. I will unwrap this and show you what you could win. But what I would ask in return for you to enter into the competition is to like, share and comment. And the comment needs to be where my little mate, the Elf on the Shelf, is. That will enter you into competition. And I will pick a random winner next week and I will post this and make sure it gets to you in the UK, I'm afraid, only, sorry. I'll make sure it gets to you ready for Christmas Day's cooking. A little bit of a clue for you. But we'll unwrap it later and I'll show you what you could win. Okay? Right, back to butternut squash. So, we've peeled it. Now all I'm going to do is take the core off the top and the bottom. Yeah? And then we're going to cut it in half. How's our new camera angle today, Emily?
Really good.
We've got a nice side camera angle there that Carlos decided to set up and we like it. We think it looks good. So, in half. Okay. Now, where's the best camera to show you this, Emily?
Overhead.
Overhead, right. So let's get a spoon. And then the best thing to use is a spoon just to take the seeds out. Now you can wash the seeds, roast them, and eat them. So they don't have to go to waste. But I fully appreciate on Christmas Day, that may be the least of your worries. So just use a spoon, whip them out. There we go. There's one. And there's t'other. Ooh, went a bit Yorkshire then, didn't I?
You did, didn't you?
I did. Back to my roots. Back to my roots. Right. I don't sound, I'm like the least Yorkshire sounding Yorkshireman in the world, I think. Right, okay. So, at the moment, they're all peeled and ready to go. But you see that? It's round, which means it's going to wobble in the oven. So what we're going to do is we're just going to square it off and give it a flat bottom, okay? Like that. And now it won't wobble in the oven. Okay? So there we go. We'll hang on to those little bits. Now, we want to score this and get loads of flavour in. And the way to get loads of flavour in is just take your knife and cut a diamond shape about ½ centimetre deep, all the way along. And this will help open up the flesh. It'll speed the cooking process up. The good thing about this is as well, you can get this done the night before. So if you're going to cook this Christmas Day, do this bit and the roasting and make the filling maybe on the 23rd even or the 24th. And it just makes life a lot easier on Christmas Day. The more you can get done, the better. So there, it's all scored, and we'll do the same with this one.
Is there any other types of squash that you could use for this cook?
You can use this. So this is a butternut squash, but there are loads of squash, loads of different varieties, all sorts. And yeah, absolutely. And I think I was at BBC Good Food Show last week, and somebody said to me they were allergic to squash. And can they use sweet potato? Absolutely, you can. Yeah, totally. So once they're scored, we'll get a tray. Okay, so we'll pop them on the tray, and because we've cut the bottoms, they don't wobble about. Now, it's important that you get some oil on there first. So, teaspoon of oil on each one, and then just rub that oil in, okay? And do the same on that side. Because butternut squash are quite sweet, they will take quite a lot of seasoning. And also, we want the salt to draw out the moisture. So if I get some salt, I'm using Maldon sea salt, but you could use table salt if you wanted to. And just sprinkle it on. And then the same again with pepper. And that wants to go into the oven and roast for about 50 minutes, okay? You can also put these in the microwave. If you want to get them really soft, cover them with a bit of damp parchment paper on a plate, microwave them for about 8 minutes, and they will be soft. They won't be brown and roasted, but they will be cooked, okay? So it's up to you. Right, so let's whack that one in the oven. Now, with all good cookery shows, here's one we made earlier, just to keep the whole thing going a little bit more. So we've got them roasted up, you can see there, yeah? Let's just put that to one side, and we're going to concentrate on our filling now. So that's kind of the roasting done. So let's get some stuffing made. All right, and you can make this stuffing, you can make more of it and actually have it as your stuffing. Or you could even make this dish to go with your roast turkey and everything else. It can be with or without, it doesn't matter. There you go, Emily's on the move. So we're just going to chop our onion nice and fine. I've got a non-stick pan on the heat. Now remember, if you have any questions at all, please do post them in the comments below. I am here to help, okay? And I've got loads of hints, tips and tricks for Christmas. Make it a little bit easier, make it taste good. Hopefully you saw last week's episodes and you really liked those recipes. Maybe you're going to be cooking one of those. We did a beautiful mulled wine coq au vin. Amazing. What else did we do? We did what? We did a gammon that was glazed in maple syrup and clementines. It was a smoked gammon. It was beautiful, really, really good. Like that was our favourite, that one, I think. And then we also did a Christmas meatloaf. And we actually cooked it in the Christmas pudding tin, which was good, with cranberries, bacon, sausages, turkey, you name it. So a slightly cheaper alternative to a Christmas day, but it had all the same tastes, all the same flavours. It was good. Your dad liked that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Luckily, when we make all these things, you see, we either eat them or Emily can take them home, Carlos takes them home, or they go next door and we have them for tea. So we do make sure that we try and use everything up. Sometimes we have a good Photoshop dinner and sometimes we don't. Right, so I'm just chopping the onions nice and fine, okay? Because all stuffing starts with onions, really. So we'll get that on.
Is it okay to use red onions?
Yeah, you can use red onions if you like. They're a lot sweeter red onions, and they're slightly more expensive, but I don't think they're much more expensive. Use what you've got. Don't go out and buy white, because I say you use white if you've got red, all right? Or if you've got some shallots, use them up. Right, let's get some salt in here. Now, salt will draw out the water from the onions, and it will speed the whole cooking process up. A little bit of black pepper in there as well. I like to keep little pots of salt and pepper next to my chopping board It just means everything's there, everything's ready to go. Makes cooking easier. Okay, so let's turn the heat up a little bit on that. Let's get that going. Now, we're going to add some more flavours. So I've got some mixed spice that's going in here. And I've also got some mace, which is a really old-fashioned traditional spice. And it just adds another layer of flavour. Now, if you can't get mace, don't worry about it. Oh, sorry. Thought I'd done something wrong then. She was like, it was an Emily question. I've just stolen her thunder.
Is there enough?
No. Mace is very distinctive. It's very unique. And I wouldn't say use that instead. All I would do is just use a little bit more mixed spice. It just brings that whole sort of... It's like Christmas in a jar, isn't it? Mint spice.
Yeah.
You know? So we're going to add some sage as well. Now, sage... Dried sage is really nice, and it's one of very few herbs that works for me as dried. But if you put too much in, it gets very, very sort of metallic in flavour. And I've literally been to the garden outside. Obviously, the garden's outside. This is all that's left: is sage, bay, rosemary, and thyme. They're the only herbs in the garden that really survived the winter, and we've had a really hard frost yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah. Getting cold.
We're now thawing cars out before school runs and things like that, so you know it's winter. So in with our fresh sage. Sage works really well with butternut squash. They are like best friends. Right, let's grab some garlic. A little bit of garlic's going to add that layer of flavour. If you don't like garlic, don't put it in. There's no skin off my nose.
How can you not like that?
Well, we do have a friend who moans like mad at me for garlic, but hey, gives him something to moan about, doesn't it?
We like it.
We like it. Okay, so let's just crack those, and then just 2 cloves of garlic, really quick and simple. Just chopped together, straight in the pan. That's it. Now, any trimmings that you've got left from the squash, chop them up really fine. Okay? That's it. Nice and fine. These will take a little bit longer to cook, you see, so you don't leave them in big chunks, otherwise they'll be raw. All right? You want that lovely sort of sweet, soft squash. Okay, that can go straight in the pan as well. Now, mushrooms. So I've just got some simple button mushrooms. Don't wash them in water, okay? Never wash a mushroom, all right? If they're dirty, you need to sort of brush them and get any soil away. But if you wash these, they will just go and suck up all the water, okay? So just chop them one way and then chop them the other way. This will give us some sort of, this will give us a bit of a body and a bit of volume to the stuffing. Okay, because they will absorb all the flavours. As the onions are evaporating and sweetening up, and then the mushrooms will take on that flavour.
Can you use different types of mushrooms?
Yeah, definitely. And you could also use dried, you know the dried wild mushrooms, they're really nice. You've got some tucked away in the cupboard somewhere, get them out, hydrate them in boiling water, drain them, and then use those dried mushrooms. They're lovely. But yeah, any mushrooms will do. Portobellos, chestnut browns, field mushrooms, wild, whatever you can get your hands on. Right. Don't know what that is. Right. Okay, so let's get these mushrooms in. With a little wipe as we go. We like to tidy up, don't we? Okay. So we'll give that a little stir. I'll use a spoon. Right, okay. Here we go. Right, they're starting to caramelise up now. So let's get some other flavours in. I've got some California walnuts here. Got an amazing crunch. They're almost creamy when you use them. And what I don't want to do is chop them too much, so I'm just going to run my knife through a couple of times, not a lot. That'll do. I've got a really interesting project coming for you next year. We've been working with California walnuts to create like a mince. So if you don't like minced beef, turkey, lamb, all that sort of stuff, we've created the same texture out of using mushrooms and walnuts. And we've created some fantastic recipes for you. So if you want to try a bit more plant-based cooking, you can totally do that with California walnuts. Really good. Right, dried cranberries, they can go in. They're going to give a real nice sort of tang and a bit of sweetness, and they're going to cut through this filling. Because you've got sweet squash, you want something to just kind of cut through. So you've got the tartness and the sweetness at the same time of cranberries, and then the crunch of our California walnuts. Okay, so they can go in. Everything in the pan now. Okay, so we're going to add that little bit more layer of sweetness. We're going to add a little bit of maple syrup in here. That's just going to help bring it all together. There we go. And then, let's talk about wine. One of your favourite subjects, isn't it, Emily?
Yep.
And Emma's too. So, beefsteak. Now, I discovered beefsteak a long time ago, and it's an amazing red wine. It's absolutely delicious. They do a Malbec. Let me show you, because I've got some, as I usually do have some around.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, pound for pound, the most delicious Malbec red wine I think I've ever come across. It is, what did I buy that for? £7. £7 in, where was I yesterday? Tesco's. Not bad. Not bad at all. I thought, and actually when you taste it, it is a good wine. But I've also come across a new one that they've done is Sauvignon Blanc, which is lovely. And I thought this will pair beautifully with my roasted butternut squash. So not only are we going to have a glass with it, we're going to put some in as well. So add a little splash of white wine into there. And that will now bring all those flavours together. Now, if you don't have any wine, don't want to buy wine, don't want to put alcohol in it for whatever reason, use some vegetable stock, okay? It is absolutely fine and it will be equally delicious, okay? But it is nice, it just has a lovely fruity flavour and it pairs beautifully with the squash because it's crisp, it's clean, it's light and it's fresh. So it works really well. Right. So we're just going to bubble this. I need to boil the alcohol away. Now, the alcohol will evaporate really quickly once you get the heat going. And it's important to boil the alcohol away. There we go. Now, to bring this together as a stuffing, we're going to add some breadcrumbs. Now, I've got some dried panko breadcrumbs here. That's absolutely fine. You could also use fresh if you've got a crust in the loaf tin, just blitz it in the food processor and add that as well. So I think it's 150 grams of breadcrumbs we're adding. Now, if you want the recipe today, go to masterclass.co or scan the QR code along the bottom. It will take you straight to their website with all our Christmas festive recipes are there. You can also download our new app, Peter Sidwell's Kitchen. It's a free app for your iPhone and your Android phone, whichever you want. It's free. It houses all our TV shows. I think we've got over 100 episodes now, Emily. Yeah, would that be about right?
Probably, yeah.
And we are adding recipes all the time. I added a lovely soup recipe last week while I was at the BBC Good Food Show because everyone was asking for it. We send little notifications out just to let you know we're going live. The show's starting in case you forget. So if you turn the notifications off, on even, not off, on, Turn them on, you'll get a notification that we're going live any minute. We have planned all next year's shows running right the way up to September, Emily?
Yes.
We had a very creative session last week. We are on it. We are ready for 2023, okay? We've got some amazing recipes. You'll love it. And we're hoping that our new book will come out in September next year, and we'll have a TV show to go with it that you can enjoy, watch, get the book if you want to. It'll be a good year next year, I think. So can you see the breadcrumbs have absorbed? We now have a stuffing, okay? So we just need to take our squash. We've got seasoning on there already. It is all ready to go. And then take our filling. And the beauty of this recipe is you're going to have some extra left over, which means you can freeze it in a loaf tin and use it for another day. You could even put this into a pie and some pastry, whatever you fancy. It's always good to have that extra, I think. So pop that onto there. There we go. Pop that to one side. What we'll do is just a little bit of olive oil on the top of the stuffing, and then that can go into the oven and it will crisp up. That oil on the top will mean you get crispy on the top, rich, sweet and roasted in the middle, and succulent roasted squash on the bottom. The squash is going to bake in the oven there for about 20 minutes, just till the top's nice and crispy. It'll be succulent in the middle and roasted and sweet. So easy. Get it all ready the day before so that all you have to do on the day, at Christmas Day, is put things in the oven and bake them and cook them. If you've got a hot cupboard or a warming oven, they'll hold in there no problem while you cook your other veggies. It is a brilliant recipe for vegetarian Christmas Day, or in fact, anytime really. So if you want the recipe, scan the QR code along the bottom, or go to masterclass.co and you will get it there. I will see you on the next recipe. Right, time to show you how to cook the most delicious vegetarian Christmas dinner alternative using this. It's a celeriac. It's a pretty ugly vegetable. However, cook it right, it's absolutely delicious. So, first thing we need to do is take some foil, okay? So, this is the easiest way to cook it. 2 sheets of foil, okay? And remember, when you have done this, keep your foil. Keep it for another job, okay? Recycle it, because all it's going to do is go in there. I'm going to wrap it up over there. The loose ends fold up towards, because I don't want any moisture to come out, because that is just going to go in the oven as is until it's soft in the center. Now, it's going in my oven. You can put it in the microwave if you want to. Put it full power. What I tend to do is get a knife. In fact, I'll show you. Get a knife and just put some holes in it like that. And then put it on a plate and put it in the microwave for 10 minutes on full power, and it will cook till it's soft in the center. But mine's going in the oven today because it's on anyway. All right. Okay, so here's one I cooked earlier, right? So I wanted to make sure that I had one quickly, keep this program moving because it's quick, early Saturday morning, and let's make sure. So, there you go. It's kind of changed in its texture. Super easy to cook. Have you had this before, Emily? You use celeriac at home or not?
No.
No, not really. Not many people do use it, to be honest, but I think it is. It's the easiest, like, low effort. It is so easy because all it's done is bake inside its skin, because it's got a tough old skin. It captures its moisture and it's like a jacket potato, but celeriac. Okay? And all we're now going to do is cut the top off, cut the bottom off, and then we're going to peel it. All right? So I'll get rid of those pieces. So when you're peeling, think round. It's like when you're peeling a melon or an orange or something like that. You want to start with your knife flat at the top and finish flat on the bottom. Okay? What's the best camera angle for this one, Emily?
Camera 4.
Which is that one. Okay, so flat, think round, think round, think round, and finish flat again like that. Okay? So we'll do that again. So it's nice and easy, just think round. There we go. So I'm just going to cut all the way around. Now remember, today we're having a competition this week and this episode. So if you want to win this mystery box, you need to like, share, and comment in the feed below. And the comment I would like is, where is the elf on the shelf in my kitchen behind me? If you can spot it, put the comment in, like and share the video, and I will unwrap that at the end of this recipe. I'll show you what it is, and then I'll get it posted off to a random winner. Next week, we will pick a winner from all the people who've liked, commented, and shared this with the right answer, wherever it might be. And I will make sure it gets to you so that you can use it on Christmas Day. Okay, so now, look, we have got a completely cooked and peeled celeriac. Now, if you're not sure what celeriac is, the best way to describe it would be potatoey in texture, celery in flavour. That's about right, isn't it? Yeah? Yeah. So, we're now going to turn this into a really delicious dish. Now, my wife's vegetarian. There have been so many times when we go out for dinner that vegetarians just aren't catered for as well as meat eaters. So it's always my mission to make sure that if we're going to create a vegetarian dish, it is absolutely delicious. The same amount of effort, care, and attention has gone into it as if I was cooking a piece of fish or a piece of chicken. So the reason why we've baked this celeriac is to make it like a piece of fish or chicken, and I can treat it in exactly the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it like this. So I've got 3 pieces now, okay? And then I want them all to be about the same size and the same depth so that they all cook at the same time, okay? So what I'm going to do is, in fact, I'm going to cut that like that. So I've got some nice pieces, and then these are the ones that I'm going to work with today. So I'm just going to trim them up, really.
What can you do with the leftover bits?
Oh, do you know what? Well, vegetarian aside, chop these up with some smoked bacon and some garlic into a frying pan with some spaghetti and some parmesan. So good, so delicious. There's loads of things you can do with it. You could chop it up and mix it in with your stuffing, which would be really nice. So that's my fillet, if you like, for want of a better word. So I'm just trying to, I actually did this dish. Do you remember when we were at the Underscar, Emily? And we cooked that 8-course mammoth taster menu.
Yeah.
And we had some vegetarians for the fish course. And this is what I made. I've got a couple of pieces there as well. We might not need those. I tell you what you could do actually, Emily, with this. You could make it into a Wellington. That'd be quite nice. So you could make a celeriac Wellington. So you could chop all those little pieces, put them on top, wrap them in pastry. Be nice, that. Right. So I've got a non-stick pan on the heat. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to score the top so we can get a little bit of texture and a little bit of flavour, because I want this to crisp up, okay? So, again, and you could do this easily the day before, if not 2 days before, and get this celeriac prepped and ready, okay?
You put celeriac in soups?
Yeah, celeriac and apple soup is a classic, actually. So, let's get a little bit of oil on there. Can you see all right with your new camera angle?
Yep.
Nice. Are you enjoying your new camera angle?
I am.
Is everybody else enjoying Emily's new camera angle? Good. Right, okay. So let's season this up. Now, salt will draw the moisture out and make it crisp up really nice. You could also do it under the grill if you wanted to. That's no problem. Right. I can hear the right. I'm going to put these into the pan. So I've got a non-stick pan on the heat here, and that's going to go straight in like that. Okay, straight in with the other one as well. Give it a little shake straight away. Make sure it doesn't stick. Shouldn't do. These certainly won't. These pans are made, they're called canter pans. And they're actually made out of recycled drinks cans. So good for the environment. Good to see things being used up and recycled and turned into other things. Because you kind of put all those cans into the recycler, don't you? And you kind of think, wonder what happens to them. This is what happens to them. They get turned into frying pans by clever companies like Masterclass. Anywho, right, so while they're cooking, let's get on with the sauce, okay? So I've got a leek here. I'm going to cut this down the middle. Keep your pinkies up, yeah? Hand flat all the way through, okay? And then we're going to shred this nice and fine. So we're not going to put any onion in the sauce. We're just going to use leek. So, yeah, you could. I mean, you could use onion if you wanted to, but I just wanted to use, like, I'm doing a leek and tarragon. And for me, what I'm thinking is flavour combinations, what goes really well with. And I know with celeriac, it's like tarragon and leek, white wine, cream, all those nice things are going to work really well together and create a stunning dish. So I'm just going to chop all the leeks up really, really fine because we want this to cook quite quickly. Okay, let's have a little look, see what's going on. So they're just caramelising up nicely. Right, let's turn that heat up. I'm going to add a little bit of butter because that's what you would do if you were cooking a piece of fish or something like that. I'm going to add a little sprinkle of tarragon. Now, dried tarragon works really well. So you can see that they're just caramelizing beautifully there. What I'm going to do is lift them out, pop them in the oven. They'll take about 15 minutes because they're cooked in the middle. And then we'll add in our leeks. Let's get those straight in. Get some salt on there and that'll draw the moisture out straight away, which is what we want. And then tarragon in. Tarragon's such a great flavour as long as you don't overdo it. You put too much in, it'll just be full on aniseed flavour, but leeks and tarragon as a combination work beautifully well. So any trimmings left over, and like Emily was saying earlier about soup, celeriac, leek and tarragon soup, be absolutely delicious. Okay, so I don't want to get too much colour on those leeks. In with our wine. So I've got beefsteak Sauvignon Blanc. This is a new find. We found it the other week, didn't we, in the supermarket? And it's delicious. So we're going to add some of that in there because that's what we're going to have with our dinner. Okay? So we might as well use the same wine. In my opinion, if you wouldn't drink it, don't cook with it. Okay? I would definitely drink that. It's delicious. I'm going to add a bay leaf just for a sort of, or two, just that extra dimension of flavour. And I've got some cream here. Now, if you are vegan or plant-based, you can completely do this recipe the same. You could use a plant-based butter in there and you can use a plant-based cream. You've used plant-based cream before, haven't you? Elmley do one. So you can totally make this dish if plant-based food is important to you. But it makes, this is a vegetarian dish because I am using butter in it as well, but yeah, it's up to you. It's your kitchen, your rules. Okay, right, so let's just add, the alcohol is burning away and that's why it's really important that you cook with hot pans, because you add that wine, you want it to boil rapidly and quickly and evaporate the alcohol and leave the beautiful flavours in there. And once we've done that, we can then add a little touch of cream. There we go. This recipe, this sauce, can also be made the night before. So you look at that, we're just bringing that sauce together now. And because it's Christmas, we're going to add another 20 grams of butter in there, and that will make it delicious. Emily likes butter.
In a festive season to add butter and
Emily likes butter, so we add it where we can. She's just got back from a trip to York, and she realised in Yorkshire, and I've always warned her, that we slice butter, we don't spread it in Yorkshire.
not good.
It's the only way, in my opinion. Okay, so there we go. Right. So that is just reducing down. Now, I'm not going to ask you to taste this today, Emily, because I know there's a load of cream in there, and
It is
You-
Christmas after all.
do you want to try? Oh, okay. I didn't think you would. Oh, yeah. Let's have a little taste of that. Here you go. See what you think. Just think of the flavour profiles in that. See, that sauce would work beautifully with fish, chicken, or that celeriac. Really, really nice. Less is more. You don't want tons and tons of that, but that's going to work beautifully. So what we'll do is we'll get the celeriac out of the oven now, and we'll return it to the pan. Okay? So it's browned off, it's roasted, and now all we need to do is reintroduce it. I'll grab my tongs and just carefully pop it in that sauce. And there we go. Let's move that. Oh, it's warm. Okay, so there it is, done. And all I'm going to do is just, because we've got all those nice cuts in the top of that celeriac, I just want to spoon some of that sauce on top there. And that will soak into all those lovely cuts as well. And you just get more flavour. And it becomes a more complete dish. And I think when you're vegetarian, it's just really nice to have a dish that someone's actually gone to some real care and attention to make. So you've got that nice bed of leeks in that creamy sauce. There we go. And then I'm just going to lift a portion of that celeriac on top there. A little bit more of that cream sauce on the top. There we go. And now we have got a proper vegetarian celebration dinner. Put a little bit of bay leaf on there since it's Christmas. Why not? There we go. A couple of bays on there. And what I would like to do probably is just that tiny little drizzle. A silkiness. When you finish with that lovely sort of bit of olive oil, you just get that really nice silky finish when you eat it. But that is how to make roasted celeriac with a leek tarragon cream sauce. Absolutely perfect for an alternative Christmas dinner, vegetarian or plant-based if you want it to be. If you want the recipe, go to masterclass.co or scan the QR code along the bottom. It will take you to their website where all our recipes are. If you want to make this dish, get to the website now. I know what you're all wanting, the prize. Right, so if you found the elf on the shelf, post it in the comments below and I'm going to pick a random, in fact, I'll get Emily to pick a random winner so it's completely neutral. She's very Switzerland, okay? And the winner, we'll pick a random winner and we will send you this lovely prize. Now, I told you I'd unwrap it and then it'll show you what it is. So, let's see how good Emily wrapped this. So, we'll see what you're going to get. Right, I know exactly what you're going to get. And I'll tell you what, look. Beautiful masterclass roasting. I tell you, it's my absolute favourite roasting dish. This. Let me open it and show you what you can win. I'll post it to you. This is a proper roasting dish. It is solid. You've got the roasting tray in there. Please like, comment and share. Tell me where the elf on the shelf is. We'll enter you into the competition. And if you get picked out as a random winner in the UK only, I'm afraid, sorry, but that's all I can do. We will send you this amazing roasting tray and you can use it on your Christmas dinner. Thank you very much for watching this week, and I will see you on the next episode. And that is going to be Christmas dessert.